Hey, Boaz here with Next Pittsburgh. I'm here at a former Alcoa research facility, and this is where Squonk is preparing their latest production. To tell us all about it, we've got their artistic directors here, Jackie and Steve. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming, Boaz. We appreciate it.
So just so everybody knows, in case they're not familiar with your production, Squonk, you're a performance group, and you put on shows that are sort of a fusion of things. It's art, it's music, it's puppetry, it's theater, it's interactive. Does that sort of sum it up?
You should be our PR person. That's perfect. Yeah, we're just a group of artists and musicians, technicians, designers, a whole slew of creative people who come together to build these big outdoor spectacles.
I love it. And right here, we've got a preview of your newest production.
Sort of how we start. We start with a little model, and Jackie works with the band on music, but we figure out how to do the staging of things.
Wait, is one of these tiny you?
There's tiny me. And then if you take a gander over here, you see the thing going up at full scale. So that there is some pieces of the head that you'll see for the finale. Maybe go over here. So the face has giant eyes.
So in the finale, the giant head goes up. That's these big flags here. There'll be a bunch of them that forms a big head.
Okay.
And then the eyes come up on a lift. And when they get up to the top, then they open. So they do all these fun things looking back and forth.
Where does an idea like this start? Like, what's like the first thing you doodled on a napkin?
This is Steve. He is the main doodler of the group.
We doodle a lot of things. A lot of ideas are thrown out, so there's a lot of waste when you do creative work. We've pursued projects that haven't worked or people didn't like, so we're always bouncing ideas off of each other, and it's based not only on being experts, like Jackie's an expert composer and musician, but I'm a pretty expert designer, and we have Todd, our expert TD. So here you see a couple of head parts. Here's a giant ear right here. Forrest is our assistant technical director, and he's a wonderful, skilled craftsman.
Oh, wow, this is serious here. What are you doing right now?
So we are welding on these sleeves to place fiberglass rod in to keep the stiff edge of the flag taut so that the shape of the head stays consistent.
The show starts with a parade. So a bunch of us come out with some instruments. I have an accordion. We've got some marching bass drums. And look back here, we've got a giant eye. So we've got two giant eyes and ears that are in the parade. And the eye does this cool thing. And Tony, our bass player, calls these the mesmer eyes.
Gosh, that is trippy. So cool. Can we walk up here?
Yes.
What an honor to be able to go up on the Squonk stage. There's so much happening here. There are all these little trumpets popping out of here.
So these are our stomp horns. And in the show, we do a bit where we play these. I'll play one for you.
You hear that, Annie? It's probably hard not to hear. Those are loud. And we've got a demonstration of the tuba. Oh my goodness.
These are the big horns that come up, and there are 6 of them, and they correspond with the bellows that are down front right here. And they do a lot of dancing. So up and down, they are choreographed with the music. So when we do the show, there are 10 of us that make it happen. So there are 5 people playing musical instruments, and then there are 4 people working all of the tech stuff.
Manipulators, puppeteers.
Puppeteers, exactly. And then a sound person who makes it all sound good.
And so you get this idea for building a tuba on this extendable giant thing that can...
6 tubas, Boaz. 6.
Tubas. And so, okay, you have this idea. Obviously, it's a great idea. It's something I would love to see. But then, like, how do you actually make it? Like, doesn't that seem terrifying?
This whole crew over here is working on it, and it is terrifying and expensive because not everything works. We had to build these individual scissor lifts here that the tuba is on by cutting aluminum and making axles and figuring out how to do tension lines.
Because it's not like you can go to Home Depot and be like, hey, where do you keep your tuba extenders?
No, it's not. We have to figure out how to make the tuba extenders, as you call them.
Maybe by next year, Home Depot will carry them. So each of these in the beginning of the show is down low, and it spells Squonk across the front. And then eventually they get lifted up, and then these bellows get opened. So we'll do a song where the Squonk people will play these to sort of demonstrate to the audience. Okay. And they'll be tuned to different notes that will go with the song. And then we'll invite the audience up and tell them how it works. Yeah. And this is Tony, our bass player, Brandon, one of our sound people, and Tex, and they're going to show you how they work right there.
Okay. Oh, wow. Where is that sound coming out of? Are you hearing that, Annie? Yeah, wow. Where is that sound coming out of?
Actually coming out of the speakers out of our PA system. We have everything running through. Are we allowed to show? Okay.
Oh wow, gosh, we're seeing all the secrets. We're lifting the bellows up. Oh, it looks like my bike pump or something.
There's a series of pistons. There's pistons that push it back up to keep it inflated. There's a piston here that fills with air just to make one of our big horn tuba heads tilt back. And then right here is our actual magic sensor that has a diaphragm in it that takes the air from here and pushes it through there and allows us to synthesize and trigger whatever sound we like.
But the whole notion of this is that the set itself is a giant musical instrument. It's a Squonk accordion, and the audience gets to play it with us. So the set becomes the musical instrument, and they join us.
And so, like when you were setting up in a park, or you generally perform in public spaces, like how do you get this out there?
Right there, that truck. You see, every show fits in that truck. We're all self-contained. We have our own sound system. Everything we need, we have.
So that seems like one of the limits of building a show. It's like, well, whatever we make, it's got to fit in there no matter what.
It's got a lot of limits. We got to be able to set it up in a couple of hours and strike it in a couple of hours and drive it across the country. Here's something that didn't quite work. Tony invented these diaphragm horns.
Oh my gosh, you invented
I
this.
did not completely invent. I took cobbled ideas together that I found online. But the general idea that we have going on here with digitizing is the same thing that's going on here, is that we're pumping air into an ABS and PVC horn. And back here, this is literally just a garbage bag diaphragm that if you hear, it starts to vibrate a bit.
It's almost like a huge kazoo.
Well, if you back up a little bit, you'll hear it's...
And I want to talk about this space. So this used to be an Alcoa research facility or some sort of foundry, you said?
Yeah, it was a foundry for testing new materials for alloys, for aluminum alloys. And that was back when we had a big plant right down here on the river.
Have you found any like weird alloys like lying in a corner that you were able to integrate into the show?
I think it's best to stay out of the corners of this building.
Okay, Tony has offered to take us into a mysterious room that's... I don't even know where we're going, but lead us, Tony.
Everything about this place is fascinating. I mean, there's a batting cage right here. You know, everywhere that you turn in here is something different. And on our first days of building, I definitely had to walk around and do as much exploring as possible.
Wow, so this is like the old Alcoa research offices, presume?
That's what I would imagine it is, because you can tell all back here, there's a machine room and stuff like that. Bathrooms over here, there's some lockers. Upstairs, there's some more rooms, but over here, this window is very interesting.
Well, thanks so much for showing us around. This is amazing, and it looks like you still have a little bit of work to do, so I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Yeah, thank you. We've got some build to do, and we've got lots of rehearsals next week to get ready for Rib Fest.
Yeah, so come on down. All of our shows are for free to everybody, so just join us down at Ribfest Steelers Kickoff.
Amazing. And then they can go to your website, which is squonk.org.
That's right. Yep. All the info's there.
Yeah, perfect. Gosh, thanks
All right.
so much.
Yeah, thank you.